Yo, what's good? Happy Tuesday, guys.
Hello, hello.
Yo, what's up, everybody? For Loco, you alive, brother? You with us?
Yes, I'm here.
All right,
What's good?
not much, man. I'm just playing with you, but so hope everybody's having a good Tuesday. Here it is 1 p.m. where I'm at in California, but yeah, back with another Tuesday show. If you guys, if you're first time on here, welcome. If you're from the Boss Man channel or you just maybe just found this on Twitter, we do these calls twice a week, Tuesday and Friday, 1 p.m. on Tuesday, PST, and then 10 a.m. on Friday. My name is Bren. I've been trading crypto for 8 or 9 years. I spent a lot of my time when I'm not trading in the building or running a Telegram with my buddy Bossman. Bossman calls. So I post all my analysis, thoughts, do streams, etc. And then in here we have my buddies for Loco, Rotes, and Danksy. All three of them together run a group called Bridge 3 Labs, which is a super multifaceted NFT slash alpha NFT projects of Alpha Group. They have guys in there who are kind of have expertise in crypto, stocks, Bitcoin mining, all these different things. So definitely check out what they're doing in there. And yeah, go ahead and give everyone a follow in the that's tagged. And let's go ahead and get started. You guys want to go ahead and get started with the majors first?
Let's do it.
I think Rhodes has some slides if you want to go do that.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah, my bad. Yeah, let's go ahead and get started with the Rhodes' review. Are you able to share your screen?
He's muted. Just give him a second, I think.
There we go.
There we go.
Sorry,
Oh,
You're good.
I'm just ending another meeting. I'm double meeting right now, but we're good. We're here.
Appreciate
I am ready. We are live. Let's get into the market update. So really, it's been a bit of chop, a little sideways action here on majors over the last little bit, to be expected after such a large push. And of course, we're facing this psychological barrier resistance at 100K. That's going to probably provide further resistance. But meme coins and majors, or meme coin majors and alts are down about 5 to 10%. So when I checked earlier today, they were down 10 to 20% even earlier in the day. And then Bitcoin's down since I checked. So, all over the place, but really kind of driven by the action on Bitcoin. MicroStrategy has recently added another 5.4 billion more Bitcoin. So they now hold roughly 386,000 Bitcoin, which is a large portion of Bitcoin. I'm not able to do the math. What is that? That works out to being 1.5% of the overall supply, total possible supply. Obviously, there's not so much in circulation, et cetera. And they're roughly trading right now at about 2.2% of book value. Which is pretty wild as well. Pump.fun has removed streaming from their service because of the things that have gone on over the weekend. A bit of chaos there with some streams and people getting a little bit more brazen as things go on. And then AI memes are really kind of the narrative that's driving things on the meme side of things. Really the one spot of crypto that's seeing positive appreciation. NFTs volumes kind of flat, mostly like weekend volume here yesterday, with, interestingly enough, Mad Lads and D-Gods leading the way on Solana, each getting about 12.3 and 14.5% respectively. I would imagine that's mostly due to price retracements on Solana, and therefore just repricing based on the value of Solana to USD, etc. And then on meme coins, the biggest movers, again, I kind of go through them top to bottom in terms of market cap. When I go through this list, GOAT is up 6% to 763 million. Chill Guy up 50%. So a pretty large retracement after the massive surge from the explosion of Chill Guy initially off of TikTok, etc. Retraced from the artist FUD and then kind of settled in a little bit lower in that 250, 300 mil range, and then up about 50% here in the last 24 hours. So the big winner, Fartcoin up 16% to 336 million, and AI16Z up 47% to 252. Again, that shows the AI narrative kind of leading the way. And then on prediction markets, we talked about this one on our yesterday stream, but Super Bowl odds have moved up quite substantially. But also when you look at sports books, they're actually still maybe a little undervalued. So, Vegas odds kind of really zeroing in on the favorites in the terms of NFL betting markets. And so there is possibly some arbitrage that exists there. But, as I was talking to Danksy yesterday, feeling pretty frothy on some of the top ones overall. So that's the roundup. Let's get into majors.
Hell yeah, that was awesome, Rhodes. Thank you so much. And we definitely should go over some poly market stuff. We haven't done that in probably since the election. I've been checking a little bit, but I'd imagine there's some more bets now since the election's over. But we'll go over that. Appreciate that, Rhodes. Let's definitely go and hop into the majors. Let me share my screen real quick. Share screen. Let's do just the window. And there we go. All right, cool. Close this.
You're on, Bren. You're good.
Yeah, no. All right, for sure. So, last time we were on here was Friday. Back around here, that's actually when we started this correction top here. Okay, so I made a post in the Telegram about I think like 3 or 4 days ago saying that we really haven't had a liquidation cascade or like a really big pullback on Bitcoin since we bottomed out in October. Now, I don't really consider this a liquidation cascade. Liquidation cascades are more just super quick and they recover quickly. For me, this is a standard correction. But either way, this is something we should expect. Even in these big bull markets, there's going to be major pullbacks, even ones bigger than the ones we've seen so far, even on Bitcoin and ETH, because a lot of these markets are driven by leverage. Lately, we've been blessed to have a lot of actual spot buys by Michael Saylor and others that are driving the market up. But a lot of the time, the market is driven up quickly by leverage. A lot of people, when they see price going up, get very long, and it works for a while. But then when price starts to correct, oftentimes those longs, people are over leveraged using 100x leverage, 50x leverage. They get liquidated, which causes prices to come down pretty, creating these pretty big corrections, right? So this is something we should expect throughout this bull market. If you're trading leverage at all, which, I don't think it's necessary. The only reason I do is I kind of have a chart background. I started in Forex, but if you are really, you have to wait for these corrections to start positions or add. It's very easy to take massive drawdown, get liquidated, get your stops hit. You have to be very disciplined. So either way, I do think that Bitcoin, ETH, and Sol are showing corrective behavior. Biggest one being lack of consolidation when it came down. We haven't really gotten a major bounce yet here on Bitcoin. Kind of this consolidation is a little bit of a bounce, but what I'm expecting here soon on Bitcoin is a major bounce, either to go straight up and take us back to all-time highs, or just to show a bounce, which could take us down to another low in this channel and then eventually go up. But either way, a bounce is going to further confirm that we're in a correction and showing corrective behavior here. Either way, what I think is going to happen, either this week, possibly not, possibly next week, because it is Thanksgiving coming up, that in the next week or so, we will bottom out and then Bitcoin will head back this time to 100K and beyond. If we go to ETH really quickly as well, very similar setup. ETH's actually even more coiled up. Lack of consolidation up top, multiple bounces, choppy behavior. What's going to end up happening here is either it's going to go up from here or bounce and then chop down for a little bit. But just like these other corrections I have marked out for ETH from the last few weeks, this one too will end up in another move higher. Again, we get corrections, impulses, corrections, impulse, correction. This is another correction that's just going to lead to another impulse higher. And really, my thesis is the same. I think that we're going to head much higher on the majors and everything else in 2025. We're just really getting started here. But again, expect major corrections like we're seeing here and even bigger going forward. Let me go to Sol really quickly as well. Same kind of thing, even deeper correction. Same kind of thing as Bitcoin. I think we're going to get a bounce here for Sol either today or in the next few days. That either takes us straight back to all-time highs or just further confirms this corrective behavior. And then in the next week or two, we'll move, probably above 300 or so in the next few weeks. And then Bitcoin dominance. We've been telling you guys for a while that I think, very likely that we would get a move back to around 63, 65% before we move down. But eventually, Bitcoin dominance in the next few months would come down, at least temporarily. And during this time, which very well could be already happening right now. During this time where I kind of have this box drawn, this is where we're going to get the euphoric part of the bull run, where everything's pumping, where new people, everybody's trading crypto again, where not only memes are pumping, but gaming, AI tech, AI memes, old coins like Cardano, XRP, stuff we're already seeing. I think this is a time where that's going to happen, and we very well could already be starting that right now. If Bitcoin does dip below, let's say I would say about 57% with a weekly candle close, which would probably be next week. At that point, I think the top is in, and we very likely get more downside on Bitcoin dominance. Now, is that going to be a longer term top, and is Bitcoin dominance going to trend down forever? It's tough to say. I think we have to see how strong this move down is. If it's strong and we go straight to 50 from here over the next few months, then I think it's probably going to be a longer term move. But if it's choppy and more corrective, then we very well could just be seeing a temporary pullback in Bitcoin dominance, and then maybe Bitcoin goes up more over time. But we'll have to assess that when we get there. A few more coins, majors or coins that are higher cap coins here on TradingView. Avalanche to me was besides Sol and ETH, is my other biggest L1 play. I accumulated a ton over from like August until last month. My thesis again is crypto gaming is going to blow up. A lot of these games that have been in development for a long time are building on Avalanche. So I do think Avalanche is severely undervalued in general. Beautiful corrective channel here, and we're still 3 or 4x in the all-time high. I think we're going to go back to all-time highs, probably way higher. For me, this is like an easy probably 5x from here. Another one, Polkadot, we were showing you this last week. Again, for me, this is an operator play and another play that's been around for a while, severely undervalued. I think this also has a very good chance of going back to all-time highs, and is one I have a long position on. Another one, ENS, another coin that's just really has not had any shine or anybody talking about it for a long time, but it belongs to a protocol, the ENS, Ethereum name service, in which I do think .eth, .sols, just these domains, these crypto domains are going to become more relevant here soon, because more people using crypto, the .eth, .sols just make more sense. You don't have to use addresses, all that. And therefore, I do think the coin ENS is going to have a lot of mind share and probably go back to all-time highs as well. These coins I just showed you here, maybe if you're looking, you're busier, you don't have as much time, you want to have a coin that you can throw your money in that has 0% rug risk, that's not going to go to zero from here, but also has a ton of upside. Those coins right there, I think are some good options. And then lastly, I'll just go over the S&P 500, not SPX 6900, the S&P 500. Making new all-time highs today, it looks like, right? Same kind of thesis for me for Bitcoin, ETH, Sol. I do think unless something comes out of nowhere, something war-related, something, unemployment spikes, we get a recession out of nowhere, something black swan comes out of nowhere, I do think assets are going to continue late into 2025, obviously with corrections in between. So yeah, S&P 500 supports our thesis that crypto is going to go a lot higher from here. So yeah, to kind of conclude what I said there, I do think Bitcoin, ETH, Sol are just going to continue to go up in late until next year at least, with corrections in between. And I think right now we're going to go over it with the memes, but like Rhodes said, I think these Bitcoin, ETH, Sol corrections are creating some amazing opportunities in memes and stuff that not only has a ton of upside from here, but is very, very low rug risk. So yeah, that's kind of my show in the majors.
Yeah, that's a great recap, Bren. And honestly, it's impressive to see that, there's really nothing much going on this week. Obviously, is the U.S. Holidays with Thanksgiving. But aside from the tariffs that Trump spoke about, around multiple issues that he's mentioned with tariffs and with Mexico, Canada, and China, there's really nothing else much going on the macro side of things that is, in fact, helping the S&P to almost regain all-time highs, as you mentioned, right? So, I think this is just a Bitcoin only dip, looks like, and it has definitely affected some other crypto assets, as we were discussing, but some memes are already rebounding a little bit, whereas Bitcoin seems to be still on the corrective channel, as you were mentioning. So, do you make this? What do you make out of this? Do you think it's just a Bitcoin only, or is it going to affect everything and all risk assets here? For the next few weeks.
It's tough to say. I think I think it's. Sorry, repeat the last part of your question.
Yeah, I'm just saying that. Do you think this is just a Bitcoin only correction overall, or you think it's going to be affecting the overall market? Because I'm already looking at some meme coins that are rebounding significantly since yesterday.
Yeah. I think it's a short-term correction for Bitcoin, ETH, and Sol. Anyway, and then obviously these major memes we're talking about, some of them that are rebounding have already been correcting before
Yeah.
these Bitcoin, ETH, and Sol corrections. So yeah, I mean, to answer your question, I think very likely, there's very likely short-term corrections on Bitcoin, ETH, and Sol, and the memes are kind of a different thing, which I think we'll go over here, but. I do think Bitcoin, ETH, Sol short-term correction is going to head higher in the next week or so.
Yeah, I agree. I think honestly, memes dip the first, and then they also are the first to recover. So I actually
Yeah.
have been adding a little bit to my meme coin bag in the last 24 hours, which it's working out pretty well. But let's. Is there any other headlines you want to cover on the macro side of things, or majors, or do we want to move on to NFTs and memes?
I'm trying to
Since
think. I think
Can
you
you pull
kind
up
of hit it.
the Bitcoin dominance chart? When we talk
Yeah,
about
we just
that.
went over that right now. I don't know if you were here. Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering if you think it's. I mean, a lot of people are saying people are taking profits at 100K. Obviously, huge round number. What do you think? Start of alt season, start of ETH running up, start of other alts running up at the BTC 100K mark.
Yeah. We went over this a second ago. I do think, like I was saying, very likely either from here or probably from here. But if somehow we do get another bounce in the next few months, in this box here, this is where we're going to see like the euphoric part of the cycle where everything kind of runs together. Bitcoin might, keep going up, but I think a lot of this, and we've already saw from this move down, is being powered by ETH ripping. Because ETH still has a large amount of the overall crypto market cap. Bitcoin obviously has a lot more, but ETH ripping on its own when Bitcoin wasn't the other day pretty much created this move down. Because as you can see, memes aren't really moving up barely. Overall, really, this was driven by ETH going up, and I think that's what we're going to continue to see. I didn't really say it too much when I was going over ETH here, but I do think again ETH over the next several months at least is going to lead both ETH and Sol. Over the next few years, I think ETH and Sol are going to be pretty similar in ROI percentage. But over the next few months, I think ETH is going to steal the show just because of how suppressed it's been and how behind it is the others, as well as the ETH Bitcoin chart and how these ETH coil ups are happening. So therefore, I do think it's very likely that Bitcoin dominance has topped here, and a lot of this move down is going to be powered by, again, ETH ripping hard against Bitcoin. And I'm glad you brought that up because I didn't go over ETH Bitcoin before we move on to anything else. I do still think that ETH Bitcoin is going to make an impulsive move up in the next few years. And I still stand on my take that very likely ETH Bitcoin will see a new all-time high in the next few years. And I know that sounds crazy with how much shine and how much focus has been on Bitcoin, but I still think ETH, the platform, with how tokenized the world's going to be and how reliant the world's going to be on blockchain, that I do think ETH Bitcoin, once this whole, a lot of these countries maybe buy Bitcoin, whatever, that ETH Bitcoin still has a chance. ETH still has a chance of flipping Bitcoin someday. And either way, ETH Bitcoin, the ratio is going to see all-time highs. I view this the last few years from August 22 until now as a correction. And very likely if we go down to the lower time frames here, from August 17th until now, very likely that this is also corrective behavior kind of winding up before we eventually explode up here. So I would not be surprised to see a strong move up from ETH Bitcoin over the next few weeks. And we'll see if that's finally the move that takes us back to all-time highs. But either way, I do think ETH is going to kind of steal the show here in the next few months, taking down Bitcoin dominance with it. But yeah, let's see. Anything else? ApeCoin. Yeah, I was gonna say Ape Chain, but ApeCoin is the last few days has actually been. It's kind of down the last few days, but it's coming back to all-time highs. I kind of view the same thing as Alex Becker was saying in one of his videos that either Ape, Yuga and Ape, they like become one of the huge players in crypto gaming, or this just like fades to irrelevancy. I tend to stick, and we'll go over this with the NFTs too, I'm sure. I stand on the thesis that good operators, once a good operator, I think eventually they're going to show that they can be good operators again. They were masters at creating hype and partnerships, and they're still creating partnerships with Bape and all these different companies. I wouldn't count Yuga out, and I, for that reason, do hold a bag of ApeCoin. This does look correct if it's a deep ass correction, but this does have multiple bounces in here. I would not be surprised if ApeCoin rips possibly at all-time highs over the next few years. But either way, I think it's undervalued where it's at as well.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we all hope it does. And do you see the gaming explosions out of the cycle happen at the end, like in 2021, or you think it's gonna move up at the same time as AI and memes?
so I think it's about to boom. I'm actually going to go to my Discord right now. Neo Tokyo. I'm in this community. Obviously, Alex Becker and Elio's NFT alpha group with the crypto gaming. Alex said this the other day. He said, been speaking with Elio all morning. Again, crypto is never a sure thing, but with how the boomer coin move is happening, I think the gaming narrative is about to be insanely red hot early 2025. Utilities / alts naturally will lead. Our time is almost upon us. And he said, with that being said, I don't ever want to be like prepared to pump, blah, blah, blah. But he's pretty much hinting that the crypto gaming space he thinks is about to pop off. And then I did see Elio say something like in February, there's going to be some huge announcement, not with their stuff, but just crypto gaming in general. I think it's going to blow up. I still think that I still have a hunch. Like I even saw Gary Vee talking about one of his videos the other day. He was talking about how like GTA is rumored, and he put rumored in quotes to have like crypto gaming stuff. I really think there's going to be something from GTA, if not them, but another game here coming up. EA Sports, all these, years ago, we're talking about the NFTs and digital collectibles. All it would take is either one crypto game that's in development right now blowing up to create a huge wave, or another existing crypto game like GTA to create just a massive speculative wave. Either way, to answer your question for Loco, I do think the crypto gaming stuff is about to blow up, not just based on what he's saying here, but based on a lot of these coins like Super, for example, just looking beautiful right now, holding strong versus everything else. I think this is going back to all-time highs. For now, to kind of touch on the gaming stuff without going too much into it, there's not a lot of stuff too much out right now, a lot of good stuff. There's really just the infrastructure coins like Super and Carrot. I have concentrated bets on there. But as these games start to come out, more and more stuff starts to come out, I do expect more and more like bigger opportunities in the short term.
Yeah, no, that's a great take. And look, to be honest, the narrative around gaming has been around for. I mean, even 2023 at the end, they thought that 2024 was going to be the year. It wasn't, but we did get like Off the Grid, which is supposed to be the game that was going to bridge us with Web 2, right? And so far, I believe it had a good impression from the streamers, but I don't know the adoption further than that. And I know some node operators and owners were looking to sell their nodes. So I'm not sure. I hope it does. And then GTA 6, I really hope it comes soon because I know there's a meme around. There should be a meme around GTA 6.
Yeah, I think it's still set to release in spring of 2025.
Right.
But yeah, to answer your point, to get your point, like you said, 2024 hasn't been the year yet. But Off the Grid, and I guess there's like, from what I'm hearing from these guys that are really locked into the gaming stuff, that there's like 20 of these kind of games like Off the Grid that have been in development for years that are quality. And kind of the thesis is all it takes is one or two of these to blow up to create a massive speculative wave on crypto gaming in general. So
yeah, no, I really hope it does. I think it has a great synergies with crypto, and I agree. I think Super is a good bet. There's a couple of other ones that you can take a look at, but yeah. The other thing I was gonna say, and perhaps part of the worry on the timeline today was the MicroStrategy FUD. I don't know. Have you guys heard about it? Because we always discussed the way that Saylor kind of like structures his debt and equity kind of like way to raise capital for buying Bitcoin. But there's a lot of concerns, especially from certain individuals that are call it well respected in the industry or whatever, that are saying that it really is showing some Ponzinomic type of like behavior, like MicroStrategy. And I know the obviously he just bought what was it, 5.6 billion worth of Bitcoin or something crazy at 97,000. So he might have bought the local top. So we'll see.
Yeah, I don't think he's really concerned too much about the local top stuff. But yeah, no, it's valid concerns. Obviously, a lot of the demand right now is from Bitcoin. I'm from Bitcoin, from Michael Saylor. But just like, he was really early on and anticipating a lot of these institutions would come in like a year before they did. I'm pretty sure he's buying because he's front running probably a lot of things he knows are going to happen from countries and stuff that we don't even know about, I would assume. And I just suspect that all this Bitcoin buying, he probably either has a knows or has a whatever high likelihood that there's going to be a lot more demand following it from not just from him. But yeah, no, definitely a valid concern. I don't know too much Ponzi wise because he and I think I saved it. I probably pull it up tweet because it was relevant. We always talk about this, but those all those loans that he he's taken out he doesn't have to pay the interest on them until like 2027 or something.
No,
So
I know.
There's no risk of liquidation or any of that. The risk is if Bitcoin were to come down, stay down for 5 or 10 years, and then maybe the board forces him to sell something.
Doesn't he have a liquidation price of 50,000 right now? With all
no,
the new...
that's the common misconception. Again, a small amount of their Bitcoin is levered up. Like I think like 5% of it, but they have so much other Bitcoin that they could take that small amount of liquid that they have levered up, the price down to zero if they wanted, and just keep putting collateral. But the buys that they're doing, the vast majority of the buys, they don't have to pay the interest on them. There's no liquidation price, and they don't have to pay the interest on them until 2027. So there's no risk of liquidation in general, and there's no risk of him having to even pay back anything on the loans till like 2026, 2027.
Okay.
Whatever it was.
Well, I think the move was to short a MicroStrategy because with the down on Bitcoin, it almost functions like a beta, like like a beta of it's like a premium beta of Bitcoin, right? If it goes down, it goes down much more. So it's almost like retracing back to what is that, like November, at the beginning of November, really. That move was crazy when it went from like 330 to almost like $500, 540. Crazy.
It should be trading roughly 1-to-1 value of Bitcoin to the business. Like there really isn't any reason for it to be at a premium right now. And the fact that it's 2x the value of the assets they're holding in Bitcoin is extreme. And that's the mispricing kind of scenario of it. And we talked a lot about this yesterday. And that, like the only value that you're seeing in MicroStrategy is its ability to acquire more Bitcoin because of their financial instruments, the bonds that they're able to release and acquire Bitcoin. And so it's like this future accumulation value that is why they're, maybe worth a bit more. But, I think the idea that Danksy had of like shorting MicroStrategy and buying Bitcoin and kind of playing them off, the two of them, I think is quite interesting given where it's at. But, for whatever reason, it's continued to value a lot higher than what it should be at a pure kind of like revenue asset basis. And then even then, like how do they operate this business? Because otherwise right now it's just like a Bitcoin trust. It's an alternative to an ETF kind of thing. That's about it.
Yeah. I think Michael's whole thing about it is he says it's like the reason people are investing in it. He sees it as like he just puts things so like eloquently and like so complex. I'm like probably butchering this, but he says it's like a lower risk exposure to Bitcoin. And he goes into that. I don't know too much. I don't know how that really makes sense too much on a short-term basis because Bitcoin's down, like 15, 20%.
It's an exponential risk.
40x. He has an explanation on that, like long-term. I don't even really know. But yeah, definitely interesting thing to follow.
It sounds like Ponzi marketing.
Right.
I mean,
there's always
but
a
at the
black
same
swan.
time, I mean,
it sounds like he's a good salesman.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I don't disagree with what he's doing. I think he is brilliant in the sense that he is able to acquire so much Bitcoin at a value or a general value well below the current price, and he has accumulated a lot. I don't know what the value is to accumulating anymore. Having someone own so much Bitcoin isn't necessarily a great thing for the overall health and sustainability of Bitcoin. And that's where I
We should
think he's
definitely
kind of lost the
see.
picture a bit.
I think I maybe, but when that person, again, you got to take him at his word. But that person says he's holding it for life and he's going to do nothing but like being an evangelist for Bitcoin. I think it's definitely net positive.
I agree.
Overall, if you
Yeah.
or I were to do that, or somebody's uncle were to have 1% of Bitcoin, like yeah, okay, maybe he's probably going to sell it off. But when it's Michael Saylor, I do think, again, he's not perfect. Who knows? Maybe he's bullshitting. But right now, he has the greatest. If you were to take profit, he has the greatest trade of all time, out of any financial like trading from USD to anything else of all time. And I do think if you take him at his word and he really is going to hold it and pass it on to his, he's going to have kids, but just like hold it forever, whatever he's going to do with it. I think it might be
then why own MicroStrategy? If they're never going to sell it, then why don't you just go and buy Bitcoin and do the same thing? It's crazy. It's a
He's
fun
the greatest
topic to
trader of all
debate,
time because
you know,
he
but
can
like
convince
it's
people to
crazy.
give him.
Yeah, but like what could I like if again he holds it and he really is trying to be a Bitcoin evangelist, all this like and take it to his death, what is the negative aspect of that? Like for Bitcoin as a whole.
You're
There's no
paying $2 to own $1 of Bitcoin.
I'm talking about Bitcoin in general, like Bitcoin.
No, the end of
I'm
the day is you're paying $2.
not talking about MicroStrategy.
No,
I'm saying what's the
no,
risk
isn't
to
there
Bitcoin?
isn't there organizational risk? Isn't there a risk of the board forcing him out and the board forcing a sale of Bitcoin? Like he doesn't have full control.
No,
That's
yeah,
the
they
risk
don't
of
have
Bitcoin.
to do anything with those loans. I think he doesn't. I don't know exactly in the board or whatever, but those loans aren't to be touched or whatever until 2026. I don't know.
They're not generating profit from Bitcoin.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously these are big
That's where
ifs. Like
the financial instruments come in, right? That he wanted to create, which we don't know yet about, right? He
A
wanted
Bitcoin
to,
bank, yeah.
which
yeah.
honestly, it's not really efficient to operate anything on Bitcoin unless he wants to use the Bitcoin in order to create financial instruments
And I think
for crypto, right? But not with Bitcoin, because it
he's
would
made a
defeat the
point.
purpose of like layer ones and everything, layer twos, right? It's like why would you transact on Bitcoin when it's like so expensive and so slow and inefficient, right?
And
So yeah.
while we're on Mike, really what he says too, I think they offered to buy out everybody back like a year ago in their stock. So everybody that was like he's made the point that everybody's like that's buying right now is all in on the Bitcoin strategy. He gave an option for everybody who's not in, who's in the MicroStrategy for the tech and all the stuff they're doing before, an option to like, I don't know how it works, like buy out their stock or whatever. So I think everybody who is buying MicroStrategy right now and people, the big investors and the people on the board that are in now are kind of in on his Bitcoin strategy. And that doesn't mean that it can't change. But I do think kind of the whole company is like riding with his thing. And there was talks of him like them forcing him to sell when Bitcoin was at like 15K.
Yeah.
But at this point, I think he's pulled off, such a legendary trade. I'm sure he's like the chairman and everything too. It'd probably be hard to do that. But obviously, these are great things to talk about and great points. But I think if we are to take him at his word and he really is gonna, says what he's gonna do, I think he's net positive for Bitcoin for sure. And even if he holds like 1.8% of the supply, everything he has done, I think is net positive. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Another thing he did say, Michael Saylor, in one of these interviews he just did with Patrick Bet David, you guys should definitely check that one out. Now he's kind of changed his tune about ETH and everything else as well. Before it was always, there's no second best, and kind of just like playfully, like just like completely blowing off any other digital assets and talking about them, calling them a security and all that. But now, he's saying now that, the landscape has changed in the House and the Senate, that very likely, that digital assets will stick around as long as they're regulated and people are able, aren't doing wrong and screwing people over. He even used the example that like, why shouldn't Katy Perry have her own token if she's not, scamming or whatever people. He even did a talk where it classifies NFTs, all these different things and all this stuff. So it's interesting to see. I don't think Michael Saylor is going to go and buy ETH tomorrow, but I do think it's interesting to see him change his tune and kind of be more accepting of the digital asset landscape in general, and not just being like Bitcoin is the only thing that's going to survive type shit. So
Yeah. No, and to finalize this, I know we've gone a little bit over the time with this MicroStrategy topic, but I think what Rose mentioned is true. I think he might be the pioneer, the evangelizer, or whatever you want to call it, evangelist of Bitcoin. But I think what that should trigger is other institutions buying more Bitcoin, because right
yeah,
now it is definitely very concerning that he holds so much Bitcoin. So whether the loans, expire or whatever, or they have to be kind of like yielded or whatever note on 2027, then you definitely need to see new countries and new institutions really get involved in it, and that way the risk for the overall market will essentially go down, right? Because right now it's just there's a black swan, something happens with MicroStrategy, we are all pretty much fucked. So we'll
Absolutely,
see.
and I think that's what he kind of is front running. I'm sure he's in the know with a lot of these things. Where I know Microsoft, he was saying he's going to do a 5-minute talk at Microsoft because they're considering the Bitcoin strategy. Even if it's not Microsoft, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these companies have already started buying Bitcoin, which we'll get announcements in like the earnings reports and stuff soon. If not, it's probably going to happen. I think you make a great point here, and I think that's probably something we're going to start to see after people have seen Michael's or Sailor's like absolutely legendary trade here. So it's a great point.
I just want to touch one more bit on the diversification. I think, if he were to start accumulating more than just Bitcoin, that makes sense for MicroStrategy as this like accumulation portfolio of crypto assets, and therefore it can then become a leverage bet on more than just Bitcoin. So if he were to diversify, I would buy more into the strategy.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's a good point, because it's almost like investing in a fund without having to be an accredited investor, right? Like, and also, I mean, obviously you can also hold them on your wallet, but I keep talking to people that, especially like older investors, they don't want to set up their own wallet, or they don't want to buy on exchanges, so they will buy IBIT or perhaps MicroStrategy. So I definitely see a point there, roads as well, not just for Bitcoin, but actually other crypto assets, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, this is good stuff. Let's see. Anything else on? Oh yeah, layer 2 tokens. I think these are going to absolutely explode. They kind of already have, as we've been talking about them on the stream for the last few months. I think the L2s, any of the coins over $1 billion that aren't memes, I think L2 tokens are probably the most undervalued. We're about to enter a landscape where block space demand for crypto and stuff is going to go up like crazy over the next 5 years. I do think Ethereum is set up to get a lot of the DeFi, the RWA, the tokenization in general of stocks and all that different stuff that's going to happen. And the ETH L2s are, people don't even realize this yet. It's pretty crazy, like the average person, that a lot of the average meme coin trading, NFT trading, all that different stuff is going to be done on the L2s. What's already happening, we're already seeing you can buy MOG, you can buy all these coins on base, same as you can now. People are just, as the technology or the bridges and stuff to get better, over the next year in particular, we're probably going to see just a mass exodus from the L1 to these L2s. And in general, the L2 tokens, for that reason, just because they're going to have so much mind share, are extremely undervalued. These charts are awesome. They've had years and years to distribute after these big airdrops that they've done. OP, probably the safest or the best bet, because of Base is built on Aerodrome, which is built on Optimism. And then all these other things. Base is getting a big push now. Optimism in general is great. And then Arbitrum also looks really good. Pretty much the same setup, down a little bit more. Looks very similar to Chainlink and DOT, which I just showed you earlier. I think these are going to absolutely rip. They're sitting all of them under between 1 and 3 billion. I mean, you're talking about some of these memes are going to go to 10, 20, 30 billion. I think the infrastructure, like L2 infrastructures of the future of like finance and all these different things, there's no way that these L2 tokens aren't all at least at 10 billion in the next few years. Probably way sooner. So I think these are a no-brainer trade where you can throw your money in it, 0% rug risk, with a ton of upside from here. Very underhyped still. So
Yeah,
that's something I take.
I do think that some of this will definitely have a ton of upside. What do you make of new companies creating their own L2s? Do you think will saturate the market, or they will always be like some, like just like Ethereum serves as a base for these L2s? Do you think they will also use Optimism as a base for their L2s, or they will create their own L2s? I don't see the whole L2 picture very clear for one specific thing. I see it more of a company or a project basis.
Yeah, so
right?
as you can see, Telegram made their own L1. I think most companies aren't going to do that. Telegram and Pavel or whatever, they're just super, on the ball. What we're already seeing, like Base, for example, we're talking about Coinbase. They could easily make their own L1 if they wanted to. They made an app chain on Optimisms or Aerodrome or however it works. we're going to see that. I think a lot of companies are going to, have app chains built on the L2 in general. It's already set up, ready to go. They don't have to make their own L1, and that pays back to the L2, which eventually benefits the L1. So it's all a symbiotic relationship. Obviously, there's some stuff that's being worked out with the L2s now to get fully decentralized over time. But overall, that's the concept. It's not going to be extracted from Ethereum because, one, I think they're going to be built on top of L2s, app chains, L3s, whatever you want to call them, on top of these already existing L2s, which then benefits the L1 and Ethereum in general. I don't think it's going to be extractive. It's all going to benefit the L2 and then the L1 in general.
Okay, good. Yeah, I know there's like Pudgy Penguins, and we can get into NFTs after this. Then Pudgy Penguins, are they planning to launch an L2 roads? Do you know more about that?
There's been talk and it hasn't been ruled out, but I haven't heard anything definitive to say that they are creating.
Yeah, I think they are, though. I think they announced it recently. I don't know if you saw it like a month or two ago, and I even saw what's his name talking about it, Luca. So yeah. I don't know exactly the details either, but I do know it's they have. I'm pretty sure it is confirmed. Again, I don't know. I could be wrong. We probably look it up. But what do you know about it, Rotes?
Apparently less than you guys do. So
it's an L2 for like IP tracking and like for NFTs and stuff. It's for IP stuff.
That's what I see. Not to transact or anything like that, right?
It's like specialized for IP transactions, and it's for the Pudgy IP and other NFTs being able to.
Yeah, that's been out for a long time, right?
IP rights.
But the actual Pudgy coin isn't necessarily a thing yet, right?
Yeah,
I don't think so. That's what they're working on. When I saw that's what they said they're working on when they raised capital before.
And that's been out for a while. They've used it already for their Pudgy toys, etc. Right? So you can go on there and you can list your IP as something that's available for the NFT organization to bid on or select, and then you get paid out based on your kind of bid, etc. So they've already created that. But as for Pudgy coin, it's definitely been rumored, but I haven't actually heard specifically of that launching yet. And I may be off. I mean, the spaces and things like that, but I don't think there's been anything concrete confirmed yet. But they've definitely talked about it, but said they haven't done anything yet.
I haven't heard of anything from the coin, just the chain. That's probably what you were talking about. They talked about it a long time ago or whatever. I think
as we cross 700 listeners here, so we do a quick room reset and then we get into NFTs because there's a lot of things over there in that world.
I got you.
Some of those too.
I got you. So what's up, guys? If you guys are just coming in, or just coming in recently, welcome. My name is Bren. We do these streams, my buddies here, for Loco, Danksy, Rotes. A lot of times we have my boy Yoni on too. We do these spaces twice a week on Tuesday at 1 p.m. Like today, and then Fridays at 10 a.m. PST. My name is Bren. You can find all our Twitters linked at the bottom or in the title. I spend a lot of my time running a Telegram channel with my partner Bossman, and you'll find all my analysis, thoughts, streams, and stuff in there. And then these guys run a group called B3L, which is a alpha group / NFT project. In there, they have people with expertise in crypto, NFTs, Bitcoin mining, traditional stocks, and all these different things. So definitely go check out what they're doing. Currently, we're running the streams through this page. So that's their page. And then my buddy Yoni will be on here soon. You can check out him and then think as well. If this is the first time you're on here, welcome. Like I said, we do these 2 times a week. So far, we've gone over the majors, a few macro things, and then pretty soon here we're going to move on to what most people are probably here for, which is meme coins and then NFTs as well. So,
great recap, Bren. And I think Johnny is in here. Johnny, welcome.
Oh, he is. Guys? I didn't see him. What's up, brother?
How are you guys, bro? You all right?
Yes, sir. Do you want to move on to? Let's just do NFTs first.
Sure.
Do you want to? Let's go ahead and let's. What are you seeing in this week in NFTs, my boy Rotes?
So volumes have pulled back across the board. So we had this nice range of spike from mid-November for about 10 days where we've seen this really high volume, kind of led by punks, and we had this kind of pre-NFT bull market kind of kickoff kind of thing go on. That's pulled back. And so what I'm expecting right now is that we're still looking for the new year for things to really get going on NFTs. There's still a lot more to go on in terms of crypto, alts, etc. For I think the NFT market to really get going. But we're seeing pockets of movement and success, right? So if you've been here and you've been listening, we've talked about blue chips doing well. So the main established NFT projects on ETH kind of leading the way. And then we've had this kind of kick in of meme related NFTs. So NFT projects that are part of a meme coin or vice versa. Those are the ones that have outperformed other than the majors and have done really well. And there's also been success within ordinals when Bitcoin is moving. And so those have done well, and I think will continue to do well as Bitcoin appreciates over 100K. And so we'll watch for those. But at the moment, we're in this period of kind of retracement. If ETH is outperforming or if ETH is performing well relative to Bitcoin, then suspect that prices for ETH NFTs will retrace a bit. Could be an ideal time to accumulate ETH for the purpose of buying Ethereum-based NFTs kind of preemptively, because I think we will see a bit of a retracement across most collections here in the given amount of time. And then recently, over the last 24 hours, Solana NFTs seem to be getting a bit of a boost across the market. They kind of are seeing some projects up about 8 to 10%. I'm expecting that it's mostly related to a bit of a Solana retracement from reaching all-time highs, etc. And then the other segment of the market that I think is really interesting and maybe not getting as much attention as it maybe should is that some of the art-based NFTs are seeing some real good appreciation. So the first one that we've seen was Chromie Squiggles, pushing forward to this 4.5 ETH range. I'm seeing Ringers by Dmitry Cherniak be in the higher end of the volume side of things, and they're up 17% up to a 10 ETH floor. And so we're going to probably see some of this appreciation on the art side of things as collectors kind of reinvest into premium assets and assets that are held for the purpose of holding NFTs. And I think, the art side of things, other than blue chip NFTs and meme NFTs, I think those are the segments that all kind of make the most sense. And so I would watch for some of those to continue to do well. So if you look back and kind of find out NFTs in the general sense, at least the early days, they're really collectibles, right? They're these form of collectibles that you get, and they're a way of showing your digital wealth, right? And so beyond
there was a I think it was Seed Phrase, one of the kind of like NFT OGs, is like a lot of people will sell into Bitcoin at the end of the cycle. Others will sell into CryptoPunks, which I don't know. Maybe it might be true or not. But there was a few sales overnight on CryptoPunks, right? I think one was over 50 ETH, which is over 20 ETH. Well, 13 ETH over floor. I think it was the silver hair. I was following it. I've been looking at CryptoPunks. To me, I don't know. There might be a catalyst here soon, but the floor has been pretty stable. And then the same for apes and pudgies. The one that's been interesting is Goblin Town. Is up 50% overnight. Have you guys seen that? Do you know what's going on there, Rhodes, or not?
Goblin Town is a NFT collection that needs a meme coin. Do they not? Do they not need to find a meme to pair with their NFT collection and run that playbook? Because they're the OG meme of the NFT space, and so they're quite interesting. Truth Coin or something like that.
It's still pretty dead. It's still pretty dead now. I look at the chart, but I guess it moved 50%, which is, I guess, somehow interesting. And then DGOS also.
There's probably a sweep of 5 of them below the floor, and that's
somebody on the Goblin Town team needs to make a coin for real, like ticker Goblin or something. I agree 100%. I was on mute. I didn't even realize, but the Goblin Town spaces and stuff, like the most cult-like shit I've ever seen.
Aren't they called Truth Labs, the parent organization?
Yeah. Oh, is it the same guy, Truth Labs, that makes the posts on Twitter? that like
No, it's Truth.
No,
Terminal.
it's different, right?
no,
But
no, no, not that. There's like a guy named Truth Labs that makes like he makes posts about Mr. Beast and like different on-chain shit. It's probably somebody different.
Oh,
Oh, I
Yeah.
don't know. Isn't that like XBT or something?
no,
What?
that's Zach XPT who does.
No,
the,
no, no, no. It's
the digging.
you're talking about AJT, right? The founder of Goblin Town.
Yeah, that's the
Well,
founder. of Goblin.
regardless. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
So, anyways, NFT. Well, then Digos also went up a little bit too. I don't know what the news are.
Yeah, I
But
wasn't
I've
sure.
been I've been tracking some NFTs and maybe because NFTs are always hot in December, right? So maybe it's a good time to start dipping our toes into NFTs here. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I've been buying a shit ton. I'll go over what I've been buying in a second too. But yeah, I agree with Roths. I think a lot of these coins chart wise, I can like add a little bit of perspective that way. The Pudgies, Apes, all these coins, even punks are moving up now. But the biggest thing that's in their favor is they've been consolidating for like 6 months to a year now. And any asset for it to bottom out, top out, almost always you're going to need a long bout for consolidation, and that's what we've been seeing across the board for Apes, Pudgies, all that. So I do think I'm in agreement with Rotes. I do think that NFTs across the board are going to get a run. I do think we're going to get a second NFT bull run. And the fact that it reminds me of 2017 where, a lot of people, even in the crypto landscape, were like, are we going to get another bull run? Was that just like in 2019, 2020, are we going to get another bull run? Was that just like a, one-time tulip bubble or whatever? And then what do you know, crypto not only ripped, but to had like a huge, we're the richest man in the world. It's like, talking about a meme coin. I think NFTs are going to have another resurgence like that. Now, a lot of these existing ones are going to have a resurgence. I think one thing that we really need to take into account, and the reason why a lot of these might not go parabolic like they did last time, the existing ones, is because ETH is also going to be going up. Sol is also going to be going up. Whereas in the past, the only other NFT cycle we got is while Bitcoin and ETH were going down and sideways during a bull market or bear market for crypto.
Yeah.
So for that reason, I do think we're going to see Pudgies, all the existing ones that are still somewhat relevant have a run of maybe 2 to 10x, which are going to go up like crazy in USD, which I think why a lot of these are great buys right now, but maybe not so much in ETH or Sol because they're going up. But these meme coin NFTs, which everybody is just completely fading this narrative right now, which I think is soon going to change, is that these meme coin NFTs, due to them being attached to meme coins, are going to have so much mind share. I think these meme coin NFTs are going to go parabolic. I'm talking 5, 10, 50, 100 X's on a lot of these right now, even though ETH is going up. Because these meme
Sorry
coins
to interrupt you. I know you were mentioning Pudgy Penguins. They just posted a tweet, which if you take the tweet, I don't know if that really goes well with the brand, but you guys can tell me differently.
What is the tweet? I don't want to pull up my Twitter.
Okay. That's right. So I don't know if you can pull the screen, but they're talking about a Pudgy mascot, and apparently it's like a Jack one, like it just went to the gym or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So they just posted that, and it was like apparently they say plans are in motion. I don't know if that really goes well with the brand. I thought the Pudgy brand was like cute and kind of like small and fat or whatever.
Yeah, maybe they're just trying to play around with the meme coin thing, which I think is probably smart, right? But Rotes, you want to say something?
I'm just looking at it, and my initial reaction is no.
I know, right?
That's not
why?
That's not Pudgy Penguin. That's Jacked Penguin, and that's not Pudgy.
Yeah.
But
That's weird.
I guess if it's a mascot, part of whatever organization, if they are part of, who knows, whatever sports team needs a mascot, maybe it works, right? But other than that, no.
Yeah, so real quickly, I'll just go over the stuff that I've been buying. My thesis, again, I do think we're going to get another NFT bull run. Again, a lot of this for me, heavily concentrated in the meme coin NFTs, but some existing stuff that I think is going to do well in the short term and kind of the longer term. Again, I do think, like you guys were saying earlier, people, as we go into a more digital world, especially as people get crypto rich, more and more people, they're going to want to flex digitally. And a lot of these existing ones are already flexes. They're going to continue to be flexes, the ones that are building IP. So I've spent over $100,000 right now. My portfolios are down a little bit. This is not taking into account my Neo Tokyo, which is staked. That one's like worth 15,000 or something right now, floor price. So overall, like 100K. Again, really all in on this meme coin super cycle thesis, the crypto super cycle in general. I picked up a lot of stuff that again heavily concentrated in meme coin NFTs, but also in stuff that
What's
again I do
the
think is well.
what's your alpha on Creature? Because I thought that was a rag. I mean, back in the day, what's the alpha? Is it because of Gary Vee?
Yeah, I was watching a few of his videos, and again, the Danny Cole, actually following him on Instagram for a long time, and he definitely is still posting stuff. I think he's one of the few that it's actually like art based and is actually a good artist. But yeah, no, to be honest with you,
Okay.
I watched the
Because
Gary
he
Vee
launched a
video.
bunch of, I think he launched a collection, kind of like towards the end of the bull market, and I think people got pissed with it because it was kind of like extractive. Do you guys
Yeah,
remember that, Rhodes, Banksy? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I
So
don't know. Yeah, I don't know anything about that, but either way, yeah, no, I mean, Creature World, I think they're still active on this stuff too. Again, yeah, I know it was from the free Gary Vee videos that I saw, where he did say that he thinks that someone like they asked him like which ones you think are actually going to be around in 5 years. He did mention this, and I do like the art somewhat, but a lot of these other ones, I did buy a few more Apus. Right now, I do have like 12 Apus. Again, I think these are crazy undervalued at 0.09 ETH. Everyone's just completely fading this meme coin NFT thesis, but as we've already seen with Zero Born, which I did buy 9 of them at 0.9. Now they're about 7 SOL. As the coin goes up, you'll see the meme or the NFT almost go up in unison, almost like more most of the time, like 2x.
yeah.
And I think that's what we're going to see as these meme coins move down. A lot of these that I am buying, the Apus, the Sprotos, and all that, the coin themselves are also correcting. So I think a lot of these are just leveraged bets, like crazy leveraged bets, not only on the ETH, but the meme coin itself. So yeah, 12 Apus. I picked up another Sproto to make it 4 Sprotos now. Picked up a Mutant, which is my first ape of any kind. For me, this is kind of a swing trade. I probably will sell this on the way up, but I do want to be a part of the ecosystem if they do anything with the other side. See what's up with that. I do have the other side Coda. To me, at an ETH where they were, how much did these things mint at?
The Kodas, wasn't it like 2 ETH?
Or how
No,
much
that
were
was
they
with that.
reselling?
That
No,
was
they're
with
they're,
the.
they're randomly mints.
What I
Yeah.
should ask is how much were they reselling on day one? Was it like 100K?
20?
Stupid.
20 ETH.
Yeah, like 20 something
It
like
went
that.
it went pretty high, yeah. Some of the
Yeah.
rare ones were selling for like 30 plus ETH, and with the one with the Kodas even more for sure.
Yeah. So for me, most of these are probably going to be swing trades. I'll sell on the way up, but I just a hunch that maybe this is undervalued. If other side, even if it doesn't go crazy, just maybe it comes out and people are like impressed with it somewhat at first. That these might be undervalued. Wrecked guy, I just really like OSF Wreck, and I really love the Wrecked guy art.
Do you think
Um,
Pudgies are too expensive for your taste, Bren, or
for me,
Apus?
I was just I was thinking of should I go with like a punk and maybe a few like 2 other things, or like should I spread it across multiple things? And I decided, and like we were talking about, I was going to do the pawn NFT as well, bid on that, but I just decided to spread it amongst kind of mid tier stuff that I think has a lot of upside. I think the Sprotos honestly are just it's just crazy free money right now. I think these are at the very least going to go to 10 ETH, even if if Sproto or if Bitcoin goes to 2-3 billion, even I think these are going to go to 10 ETH. There's 3,000 of them. All that I do think these are crazy undervalued. So that's kind of my biggest like ROI play and why I bought 4 of them. But then let's see, and then the biggest one, and I'll end here. I don't want to talk about this for too long. But the V friends, I do have 8 V friends now. Again, to me, these are both a long-term and short-term play. I do think we are going to have another NFT resurgence, and I do think Gary Vee has the most resources and the most ability to actually build this into something big, or as much as any of these others. And if you see him in any of these clips, he says it's for life for him, and V Friends is for life for him, and he's been spot on with all these other technological advancements. So this is kind of a bet on him. But yeah, just all in on this meme coin / crypto NFT super cycle, and we'll keep track of this, see where this is at in like a few months or a few weeks from now.
Nice. Yeah, hopefully we can track your portfolio and as well. I'm thinking of adding a few, but let's take a look at the pond because I've been looking at that collection too, and it looks like it was retracing a little bit here with Fog, but Fog actually is up slightly today. Not too much, but slightly from yesterday. Let's see. It's holding up pretty well. To me, I think it kind of like did like a little bit of a double button. I don't know if you can tell me that from your technical
Yeah,
perspective,
for
but it
sure.
really hit that 0.37, 0.4 mark, and it's really rebounding pretty well from there.
Yeah, this very well could be the bottom because, again, like you said, it does form a nice little double bottom of consolidation of 3 or 4 days. But even if it comes down again, I think this is a no-brainer chart-wise and just in general. We've just seen the strength of FWOG on Twitter and with the NFTs and stuff we've been talking about. Really, just like these are the times where like you want to be buying these things is when hype is still high. It's a great coin, but then it's correcting. Because during these times, people, the average person just tends to just chase whatever's hot right now. Attention just really fleeting in this space. So a lot of this times, these opportunities will create nice 40, 50% corrections on great coins. So something like FWOG right now, I think, is a no-brainer. I completely agree with you.
Nice. Any thoughts, Danksy or Rose in NFTs, or should we move on to meme coins, which I know it's probably the highlight of the day?
Let's
No,
get
I'm pulling
memeing.
I'm pulling up the FWOG raffle. How many people do you think entered?
Oh, the one today was pretty cool. It was a wizard, right? I was
Dude,
looking at it.
it's got to be one of the best. I think this
Yeah,
raffle is the one
I
to
was
enter.
thinking about throwing something to it. It's 50 FWOG, right? Something like that.
Per ticket, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can find it anymore. Is it over?
Pretty crazy.
No.
None of these have sold in a week.
It's too
I don't know.
expensive.
It'll be interesting to see what happens because the coin's going up. If the coin just shoots straight to 2 billion, like does the floor come down, or they just start selling over 200? I'm interesting, Rhodes. What do you think happens if it just rips from here, for the floor of the pond?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's a $500 million mark that I think is really important for FWOG to get above and establish itself. If it gets up to that level, then I think we start to see movement again on the pond. But at the moment, given the fact that we have some of the ones that are at the on the floor right now that are a little less desirable, and there hasn't been sales for a while, I think it's just at this like holding period. Clearly, not too many people are super active to sell, which is
Is
positive.
it announced FWOG? That's pretty cool. I mean,
The announced FWOG is good.
Yeah.
The Rizzler below that, not as great. There was another one that was near the floor that wasn't as great.
I love this one so much.
Right, 90%
You
of
gotta
them
buy
are
it, Bren.
amazing. But the current raffle, I think, is
I can't find it.
Is an elite one. Go to the homepage; it's right there.
You can also search the artist actually, but it's on his Twitter.
So far, there are 923 minted, with 16 hours left to go. So I'm gonna continue to watch this one, maybe follow it through, and then maybe buy a few right near the end. But I think it's the best. I don't know. It's really a good one to go with. But yeah, just click Magic Eden Home.
How do I pull up the? How do I pull up
pull it up?
How do I pull up the comments, like the stream, the chat thing?
It's on Twitter.
I know I'm on there, but like, how do I pull it up?
You had to go on the stream.
Am I able to do it on mobile? I am, right?
I think so.
Because I'm clicking on it. I'm going to the comment. I can see the comments of the tweet, but like, where's the? How do
You gotta go on this. You gotta open up the stream.
It's still showing. Okay, you know what? I think I'm on the. Okay, I see what you mean.
Dude, look, it doesn't work. Look at my screen.
Oh, nice! I can see it.
Oh, that one's nice.
I was
And then
seeing
it goes
it.
404 here, I think. No?
It's because it's happening today, right?
Look,
Oh man, it's
broken.
crashing.
Oh, you can go to the website too.
Oh yeah, that one's nice.
Whatever. It looks cool. So we'll see who gets it. But it looks like a pretty cool one. Let's go into meme coins because I want to hear from Johnny. And what I'm seeing here on the timeline is there's a massive rebound on AI meme coins. Johnny, any thoughts?
Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts. I'm curious to know. Bren's thoughts.
Hell yeah! I mean, I'd love to hear. Yoni's probably more onto the newer stuff on the AI stuff, so I really want to hear what he's been looking at the last few days. But for me, my biggest concentrated bet has just been in Zero Bro. I do have some GOAT. I didn't go too hard into that one. I did buy some Bully yesterday, but I think Zero Bro really has the chance at flipping GOAT here. And if not flipping, just really being right up there with it. I'm being the top AI agent. For me, it checks all the boxes chart wise. That's why I bought it the first time down here at about 7 cents, whatever this was in the channel. bought 10 of those Zero Born NFTs down there as well, and this has just been a great trade for everybody involved. And on top of that, just the reason why this has been pushing up has been because the developer Jeffy Vu, definitely go check him out on Twitter. He's the developer behind it. He just keeps shipping out stuff every day, cool stuff.
Yeah.
It's just really, like I said, like with the reason why I bought 8 V Friends, I spent $40,000 on that. It's the same reason so bullish on Zero Bro is because of the operator behind the project is just an absolute animal. He keeps shipping cool stuff. The biggest thing was that album, the EP that came out. Definitely check that out. Super cool. You can find it on Apple Music, Spotify, anywhere. You type in Zero Bro. Yesterday, now they're training him to play chess and different other games, which they'll be live streaming 24/7. Just other cool stuff. And I think the biggest thing is that Zero Bro's tweets are actually really funny. He put out one today that said, like, I'm going to get my dog like a Glock 9 so he won't be the next Peanut or something. Like, it's just like really funny stuff, like genuinely funny. A lot of the other ones, Bully, all that, maybe to be honest with you, not as funny to me, just not naturally like, just everyone I don't really laugh so much at. Zero Bro kind of just really a lot funnier in my eyes. But either way, to kind of answer your question about the AI space in general, I think it really is heating up. We're going to see a lot of these leaders rip to the billions, and then a lot of smaller plays as well. What I would say is just be careful with this AI stuff, where like 1% of the people trading these things actually understand the tech. It's going to be ripe for scams and people trying to take advantage of people.
No, I agree. And for that same reason, my bet is actually on Fartcoin. You can laugh at it, but the truth is there's actually a very fun like tagline going on X. It's like Fartcoin fixes this. So it's like really mixing up the AI with the memetics of just being called Fartcoin. I open a position on this at 0.33, so I'm up a little bit slightly today, but I think this also has a ton of potential. I see a ton of people I respect behind this token. And I don't know why you look at the chart and how you like it, Bren, but I think we might be hitting up here for another all-time highs. We'll see.
Yeah, I can see this being like an inverse head and shoulders, and I just do think a lot of these AI agents that are doing anything are just probably going to keep ripping. And I think the corrective period that we're already seeing on Zero Bro is really similar to GOAT and Bully, and very likely either from here or pretty soon are just going to make new all-time highs. I think Zero Bro is going to $1 billion from here, probably multiple billions. And it's another thing about the NFTs as well that I do think if you're looking for maybe a way to take advantage of this meta we're talking about with the NFTs, Zero Born NFTs have pulled back a lot the last few days, as well at 6 Sol. So definitely take a look at these. I wouldn't be surprised to see these at like 20, 25 if Zero Bro goes into the billions.
Possibly. Johnny, are you into UBC or which one? AIXBT? Which one are you into? Like, because those have been hitting up crazy like the last 24 hours.
I'm not in either of them. I've been going down like different AI rabbit holes. In general, I've just been kind of, I don't know, I just keep seeing AI mindshare continue to go up. I love Fartcoin. I love GOAT. I love Zero Born the most. They're now like, I'm starting to look at the AI launch pads like Valfy or Dasha or whatever, and some other ones that I've gone into, and they've actually performed like against this retracement like this past day or two. Bully also, I've been watching since like 14, 20 million and talking to Bren about it. And honestly, I'm mad I didn't get in. Like, I don't think he's as funny as Zero Bro, but he's so consistent and it's so natural and he's all day, and the chart is just so fucking bullish. And I'm looking to see if it retraces, but even like this morning I was watching it around like 118 and we were chatting about it, and it just felt like what was the bottom, and since then it bounced like 40% today. I don't know. It again, there's so many AI agents that are coming out, which kind of always makes me second guess myself, because what's stopping another AI agent from just like learning it and being as funny and then like taking on a personality or whatever it is? Maybe the combination of this being early and who's pushing it and whose big money is already involved, maybe that's why it'll continue to be bullish. Because if you realize a lot of these investors and KOLs kind of, besides on all these big coins, they feel like very similar investors. Like a lot of the GOAT money went into like Zero Bro. A lot of that money went into like specific AI projects as well. And I don't know, it just feels like kind of there's really good tech, and then there's like really good tech with personality, and then there's like really good tech with personality and a great developer that like also people have already kind of established to get behind. And that's what it seems to kind of break down into. I'm hoping Zero Bro laps GOAT, strictly literally just off the developer and the brand. But GOAT being the first mover and how massive it is, I'm not sure. There's so many AI agents coming out every day. Like I'm starting to look at the launch pads, because like Vifu, if you look into it, or it's like the ticker is Vifu, but it's Dasha. It's a launch pad and it burns the token every time it launches an AI agent. And it's essentially like a pump fund equivalent kind of ish is what I understand, but for AI agents. So if you pull up the chart, like I got in around like 33 million or 34 million with like less money because I was a little bit more worried. But as I was watching the chart, I just decided to go in with a little bit more. Nothing crazy. But since then, it's given me almost a 2x.
Nice.
And you saw
Are those the same guys behind the A16C or different?
So I think it's like even during all of that FUD that was going on and all the stuff that was going on with what's his name, they just kept going. They just kept being really, really bullish. And if you look at the developer and what they were doing, he just kind of kept saying the right things, focusing on the right things. I'm sure there are other launch pads to look at, and I'm sure there are going to be other ones that go. But with so many AIs that are going to come out, like that's why I like Fartcoin a lot. You know, like I like some of the first movers, or some of the ones that create these other ones, or some of the ones with a bigger narrative or a bigger purpose or something else to invest in. Because in such a market with so many tokens, that's why it's kind of like what Bren said. I agree with, like, find your favorites now, maybe like the fathers of some of these are the strong narratives, maybe go in with size, and then these other ones go in with less money as they start to kind of come out. But I think that's what I'm going to be doing personally, trying to find size in, like, whether it's the launch pads or these first movers or bigger narratives that kind of do more than just are an AI agent, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I do think that I want to hear your thoughts. I don't know if you've seen the AI tokens on Base.
Also,
but
sorry, I slowly see my wallet like starting to become, because this I really do want to chat about. It's kind of the reoccurring theme. Like, it's not AI versus cults, like cult memes or static memes or whatever we want to call it. Everything I get has a cycle, but I am slowly seeing like my portfolio, and I think a few others' portfolios, even from early investors in these other coins, like these AI coins are really starting to, I feel like, split. And I'm wondering if anyone else's portfolio seems to kind of like be seeing that, and if we think that this is just cyclical, or if we feel like that'll continue to happen, or maybe overlap it.
yeah, like a oversupply of AI tokens.
Yeah, where all of a sudden it's like that's where a lot of the volume is, and that's where a lot of the liquid is. It's like my portfolio is already nearly split, and that's just between like two positions.
Yeah, I do think, again, they're going to be both. There's going to be enough volume coming in that's going to be able to sustain multiple of these. I would just caution, I know not just you specifically, just caution that you got to understand most people are just going to be, all the attention and tweets are going to be on what's moving right now.
Right.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that's indicative of what's the best opportunity, one, and then two, what's going to continue to move. In fact, I think the most surefire like bets are really in the good stuff that's already kind of proven itself, where the hype's kind of gone elsewhere, and focusing on that stuff. I do think the AI stuff, I'm definitely adding more AI stuff to my portfolio. Zero Bros become a big concentrated bet because of how much it's gone up. But I just caution people, definitely don't shift your portfolio just all to the newest thing just because that's where the hype is at now. Make sure to focus a lot on the good stuff that's also in opportune times to get in, correction wise and all that different stuff as well. But yeah, I mean, to address what you said, Yoni, I definitely, AI stuff's getting so much mind share. I think what's going to end up happening is there's just going to be so much mind share in crypto in general. There's just going to be different types of people who like the meme coin stuff, and then maybe more intellectual type people who maybe wouldn't have traded the meme coins, who are going to be more on the AI stuff, and then I'll overlap of the two as well.
Well, I think what's happening is kind of like with this AI stuff, it's almost bringing back like the investor in a lot of people rather than just like the trader or like the meme coin stuff, where it's like you're having to look at projects again, developers, like tech, like, you know, and if enough of these coins kind of come out, like with DeSci and some of this other stuff, I don't know, I just feel like fair launch tokens are going to might quickly become like memes, the new memes. I don't know, maybe people will, like, of course there are always going to be memes, and there's always going to be gambling, and there's always going to be like static things that I think are going nuts. But ultimately, it's like if you start asking yourself, if I could start getting multiples in stuff that's fair launched, that actually does something, or that VCs can invest in, I don't know. I just feel like maybe over time, people would rather do that, right? Like even with me, with AI, it's not even jumping on some of the new stuff, but when you see the developer on Zero Bro continue to kind of move, you see that the AI agent continue to kind of grow a brand. There's so many other things that they can do kind of like to mix the both. It almost makes you wonder, like, why wouldn't I want to invest in something that's like living and breathing and does all of these things, rather than a cartoon character potentially, or a community, or even a community that might be that, you know what I mean? That's been here, but ultimately, I don't know. I wonder if that question will eventually maybe kind of cause a shift. Do you guys
Perhaps it does.
asking yourself that at all, or maybe seeing that in due time, or kind of like seeing where I'm coming from with it?
Yeah, for sure. Again, I think a lot of this is going to be just different types of people trading it. I'm already seeing it, like a lot of these people who are like completely shunning maybe a lot of the NFT people who are just like, I don't like the meme stuff. A lot of people are hopping to the whatever. I mean, where is most of the volume going to shift? We could go back and forth all day. I still tend to think for the average person, most of the people who are going to be trading meme coins are going to be your average 20 to 30-year-old who probably doesn't understand this AI stuff, and more than likely on Moonshot is going to be buying either a community thing or whatever. But either way, I don't know if it really matters. I think the strategy really is to just have exposure to both. But to answer your question, I still think if I had to answer a gun to my head, I still think most of the money, if we had to like guess and track where it's going to go, most of the attention I still think is going to be into the easier to understand things. And stuff like that, the cool communities, but that doesn't mean, we're already seeing Zero Bro going viral, on mainstream stuff. And that's another thing I want to address as well. Zero Bro, it's so bullish, not only that it's getting mainstream hype, but as you notice, it's not the coin that's getting hype. It's the actual AI. It's the actual product behind it. Most people, I saw Russ post about it the other day. Obviously the rapper Russ, they're not mentioning the token, right? It's just the actual thing behind it, which I think is extremely bullish. It means that there's actually something behind it. And once these people start to realize there's a coin behind it as well, it's just going to keep going up. So,
Possibly. All right. Johnny, are you a chill guy or not?
Okay, so like this is obviously something that I don't recommend to anyone else, but I'm not a chill guy. The meme kind of really just annoys me. Even I might just have to watch it go to 2 billion or whatever the fuck, 10 billion or whatever people keep saying. But I have kind of been introduced to meme leverage recently as like a little side quest rather than trenches, and I kind of prefer it. I don't recommend it to any of our listeners, and I don't think we should talk about it very much. But I do think chill guy might be something that I like entertain there more so than open a position. I don't know why I can't get myself to open one. Are you guys?
Yeah, dude, just be careful because those swings, even like first of all, anybody using this, like, if the meme leverage, don't use anything over 10x. And if you do, all it takes is a 10% swing in the coin to completely like take your position down 100%. So it's just like with the meme coin leverage, even if you're trading a Doge fucking meme coin leverage, it's just brutal. I would be careful out there. I think if you're using like 5x leverage and you're getting in while it's already corrected 50-60% for a few weeks, might be a good swing trade opportunity. Or I mean, you can really get lucky as well as if you get in at the perfect time and it just keeps pumping. But while something's pumping, I would highly recommend against using leverage, especially top blasting with leverage is just like asking to get wrecked.
I would agree with Bren. I think go to 3 to 5x maximum leverage. Make sure you have a healthy margin ratio and your liquidation price is way far from your entry, because you can really, market makers and exchanges will go and tap you out, right? And they do that all the time. So definitely be careful, especially meme coins are already levered products, right? And even if we're looking at 300, 400 million market caps, I mean, Chill Guy has done 2x in a few days. And just so you're gonna have still good returns, and you don't have to worry or lose your sleep overnight, right? Because that really is what it is when you're trading with leverage. Most things are not in your control, and we've seen meme coins go down 50% for hacks, or I mean we started with Giga, right? We had that red candle that I'm sure it liquidated a bunch of people. But
I will say, like, for example, go back to that chart right there.
The only
Like-
time I found it useful, I was more scared. I didn't do it any day before, but like when you see everything red, 50, 60%, 70%, like today I happened to take a crack at it because I just saw Giga near at 300 million, like Tau, not just memes, like alts as well. Zero Bro, like just Link, just saw so many things that were down and that were down a decent amount and just kind of ripped them, and they all literally ripped. And yeah, I probably just getting in, getting out. I'm now getting out of everything. And the more that you guys say it, I'm like, yeah, this is dumb risky. I should probably.
I think, and I was gonna say that's a great point. I think Chill Guy, for example, say Chill Guy went down from 550 to 250.
Where it was, that's what I'm saying. Where it was at like 280
Well,
or something.
Yeah, from 550 to 250. I think the way you can use this leverage with that without being completely just a fucking gamble is using it as a swing trade. You like 5x leverage, starting to slowly add in, anticipating the next move up.
Yeah.
I think you can pull it off there.
Like, Bren,
You have to get in at like literally the most opportune time. Even if you got in halfway down through that move with 5x leverage, you're taking massive drawdown. So really, I think it should be used at like if it's at like extreme lows. And really, if you understand this stuff, it's just so easy to lose money, even leveraging longing ETH or Sol, let alone like fucking Chill Guy. So
Yeah, and funding rates can also destroy you. I mean, obviously, you see what platform you use, but as funding rates heat up, you're gonna be paying a ton in fees just for keeping your positions open.
what is this platform you're using, Yoni? Is it a
Ox.fun?
Yeah. I wonder about the liquidity in a lot of those too. I haven't really.
What is it?
I'm wondering why does the liquidation price move, which is weird. Shouldn't it stay put and then you know where your liquidation price is?
Is it moving up or down for you?
It's probably because of the funding rate.
I'm
But
just saying in general. But this one
Do
was.
you have a margin, like isolated margin addition on your account, or are you trading like naked?
It didn't give me an option.
I don't think it's. I think
Oh.
it's based on like LP. Like people are providing liquidity to this shit. It's like I don't know exactly how it works yet. But I
Yeah,
can't
but
imagine there's a lot of
yeah.
liquidity in like something like Chill Guy. Like you're not going to be able to place like a crazy big position.
Yeah, where I trade, I think there's a maximum of 7x, but there's also a possibility to add to your position where you add margin on the position, so your liquidation price you can kind of like control it, and it's not at the whim of the market, right? So that's something that you also have to take into account. I've never used Ox Fund, but I know other exchanges have that option.
Yeah, I need to look into how it works more for sure. I haven't taken a crack at longing Ether, or I'm sorry, the meme coins yet. I've been focusing just on ETH and Sol.
It's absolutely nuts. Like if you actually evolve, you'd be like fucking Yoda. Like this is insane.
Yeah, I consider doing some like swing trades like once they take big corrections for sure. We'll definitely talk about this shit for sure. I've been seeing more about it.
Memes are starting to bounce. I mean, it's starting to
Yeah,
look
that's what I was telling Bren at the beginning of the show. Like it seems like memes are recovering pretty quickly, especially AI based ones, and obviously Chill Guy. But
Let me share my screen real quick again. Hold on.
Project 89 is another AI project I've been looking at for a minute. When it dipped down to 40 million today, I wanted to grab it. I didn't. I'm watching it now.
Project 89. I haven't
Bren,
looked
you're
into
on.
that.
Yeah, I know.
The developer, I just know that he's really connected. He's been doing this for like 15 years or something, and he just seems to know a lot of people, be super based. And the chart looks healthy. It's not like some of these other projects that seem to have gone like absolutely ape shit and then like, came down hard. It just seemed to have like done really, really healthy bullish moves and drawbacks or corrections.
Project 89. Yeah, no, yeah. I remember you bought that like day one or something, didn't you?
Yeah, I had a position in it like literally sub 500K, and I fumbled it.
Yeah. Let's see, which one is it? Probably this one, right? Yeah, this is one I don't know anything about the actual thing, but this is a very clean correction. Yoni, this reminds me of like Zero Bro when we first got in it.
Yeah.
50 million. Yeah, no, I can see this rip here in the short term and long term. So definitely a good one. For me, what I've been focusing on with the memes guys is like there is a lot of different stuff out there. Chill Guy, a lot of stuff that probably goes higher, some newer stuff as well. But I just, from what I've just in my 8 years in trading crypto, like I kind of touched on a second ago, the surest fire bets are getting into stuff that is proven, that has proven communities, that checks all the boxes, but is in a corrective period where maybe less people are talking about it, maybe even more bullish people are fudding it. that is the time to really get into these coins, because again, it creates these big oversold, nasty 50% corrections. Giga Chad, for example, checks all those boxes for me. The meme itself, Giga Chad, is the most well-known meme ever. It's a movement coin that I do think is going to inspire a lot of the fitness crowd, people who value masculinity, different stuff like that. The chart is absolutely beautiful with this nice ass corrective channel. It has a lot of the cult-like meme, community type aspects that can really, people are diamond handing and trying to hold this thing to 10 billion type thing. For those reasons, I think right now, definitely play with the newer stuff. AI, really, I love it. I'm zero bro, all that stuff. I'm going to start playing with some of the lower stuff. But like, if you have dry powder right now, take most of that and put it into these proven coins that have already, proven themselves. Because not only at 300 million, it's going to go to 1 billion. But I think these coins that are in this little sweet spot that are proven right under 1 billion are not only going to go to 1 billion, but I think 3 to 5 billion extremely quickly, because they have all the aspects, the supply distribution being the most important, the cult communities, all that, to really take it to those high market caps. So I think right now there's a mispricing between coins like PopCat, for example, which I love. I have a big position in. PopCat, which is maybe at 1.5, and then stuff like Giga, SPX, MOG, all that stuff that is lower. I think all of those are going to flip the PopCat and these other coins in the next few months, and then just absolutely rip again because of all of these things that can support these big market caps. So yeah, Giga, SPX, MOG, lock in being probably the biggest, like, pound for pound undervalued at 64. Beautiful corrective channel. And then obviously the King Harambe has been getting fucking smacked.
Yeah, bro, we got to talk about it.
Yeah, I don't know what there's much, like, really. It's just, again, just another one of these nasty corrections. I don't know if. One second, somebody's calling me.
All right, John, what do you think? Johnny, what do you think on this one?
On which one? Sorry. On Harambe?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I have been following it. I don't have a position on it, but
I keep hearing talk. The last thing I want to do is FUD it, because I have a big bag of it, and but and Bren is like King Harambe. But something people keep saying stuff about supply. I don't know. There are a lot of great people in it. Everyone advocates for it. It seems like a no-brainer. The chart for a second was looking bullish as fuck, and then now this kind of nasty pullback again. Maybe it's more bullish than ever because the supply is now spread out even more and in better hands. But
yeah. So yeah, exactly. I agree 100% with the kind of last part. And he was saying, I think a lot of this, again, price going into these bull markets, price. Yeah, it's annoying to see these things dip, but you got to ask yourself why you're investing in these, other than prices going up right now. You have to have a thesis that really supports the coin going up, like, over the next few months, higher than where it's at now. So for me, Harambe, even though it's getting absolutely fucking smacked, like I said, definitely not the greatest point for it to be getting hit down at at that all-time high. But all of the dynamics that made it great, 3 weeks ago when it was at all-time highs, are still there now. Harambe, one of the most obvious memes of all time. Supply distribution is good. It's not the top of, like, Murad's decentralization thing every time he posts it. And just, it's still a strong community. Why is it getting hit like this? I don't know. Maybe they have some kind of bundling that people aren't seeing, that someone's selling it off. Either way, I do think buy pressure is going to be so strong next year that even if someone is farming it, this thing's going to go to 100. And once it does cross this 80 million mark or whatever, that it's just going to surpass it for good. And I do think that Harambe still is one of the biggest sleepers for $1 billion market cap. As crazy as that sounds, where it's at now.
I'm riding with that thesis. I mean, I'm not touching mine.
Yeah. Again, it's just nothing's changed from this except that it's down 50%. I think
I'm honestly really excited to have this conversation with everyone a few months from now, because it's really tough right now. I mean, you guys would definitely know more than me, but you see these new coins that come, you see new technology that are coming, new theses that are kind of like, coming, new characters that are kind of coming. Things aren't necessarily contradicting each other, I would say. But I don't know. It's going to be very interesting, I think, over the next few months to see, like, what really has the volume, the mind share, like what's really been able to stand now. with Bitcoin making a move and some of these majors making a move. Don't you feel like we're going to get a lot of data soon, or do you feel like even in the next few months it could still go sideways or be choppy, and then all of a sudden everything makes a move together again?
I think everything's going to have different rotations as we've seen, but I think everything's going to pick up soon here in the new year. I kind of go along with what Rote said at the beginning here that after this new year here, I think everything's going to pick up. And the higher Bitcoin, ETH, and Sol go, the stronger everything else is going to rip, and the more sustainable this alt season will be. And I do think it's going to come back to it in a couple months. If I had to guess, that all of these sectors are going to be way stronger than we're at now. These main leaders are going to all be higher, and it's just really just a huge abundance thing. An abundance of money is going to come into crypto, where I do think a lot of these different niches we're talking about are going to do well, and see huge gains for everybody who has the balls and stuff to buy them right now. So definitely will be interesting to see a couple months from now where everything's at.
You want to pull up a chart that's the opposite of what you're telling people to invest in, which is like something new and TikTok-ish and is doing something weird? I'm curious for your analysis on it. Mustard.
Yeah. So mustard's interesting, right? Like usually like these I'm not sharing my screen right now anymore, but usually someone else want to pull it up. I don't know. Yeah, awesome. So yeah, mustard's interesting because usually these like singular memes just die out really quickly. And sometimes they get a community built around them. I'm still seeing some mustard stuff, and on Instagram and stuff like that. I honestly, it'll be interesting to see where this goes. I do think right now it looks like it's probably going to keep breaking lower. And then from there, I guess we'll probably see if it forms a community or whatever around it. But I think in the short term, this is very likely going to move lower unless some crazy catalyst, like some whatever comes out. But long term, I really just don't have a strong opinion on it. I think it could go either way. We've seen coins like this, have a resurgence, usually due to a Binance listing or something. But yeah, in the short term, I think this does go lower. From there, we will see, if it recovers. I think what you can learn from this is really get into these things early, take your profits, get risk free. And then, if you're one of the kind of person who wants to see hold it out, and see if this thing does build a real community, you can really just hold the rest there and not really have to worry about it.
That's epic. Who's controlling the screen right now?
That's Danksy.
Oh, Danksy, that's epic. Because while Bren's doing like his chart analysis on it, you're kind of taking people through how you would peep a coin if someone just told you about it, like how you would peep the bundles, the wallets. I think that's actually really important. It's like the combination of both what Bren just did and what Danksy just did that like you just need to do on every single thing that you're doing, and you should be all right,
Yeah, you kind of like have to understand the bubble maps. Danksy, you guys wanna go through what this means?
I don't really use bubble maps too much, but pretty much it's just showing the supply distribution amongst wallets. We need to have our buddy Dak on here who kind of understands this stuff more thoroughly.
I think it's a good habit, right? To just check. It's a good habit to just check clusters, check who the wallets are, the biggest traders, how much like they own, what their biggest, what profits they've taken. It's just like for the person that wants to do a little bit more research, understand a little bit more, it may not help immediately, but over time, I feel that like it's all these little bits of information that can kind of help you have conviction in something, in drawbacks or in different situations to maybe go in with size or to maybe wait for entry,
That's very true. Danksy, can you pull up the chill guy chart? Because the bubble maps for that one, a lot of people have been saying that, it's impossible that they got 134,000 holders in 10 days. And that there was some sort of like dev or like a bot.
Yeah, so what we got to understand about holders is like a lot of it is legit. There's obviously a lot of holders on this, but holders, volume, all that stuff can be faked really easily. So I definitely holder count overall going up is great, but it's just like views on videos and stuff. It all can be faked. What's really important is these other things, the chart, corrected behavior, there's other things that can't be faked and stuff like that. So I mean, overall, if you see the holder count going up, it's probably good, but just keep in mind, don't base your analysis strictly off that because those things can be quickly faked, and they do it. They just pretty much distribute it amongst wallets because they know people look at these metrics.
Yeah, also true. I'm gonna have to get off.
The only ones bundling this are the exchanges, which is a good. And then you see that when the bubbles are separated, actually is good news. Is that the chart?
Yeah, I think Yoni was saying he has to get off. I do have to get off too, guys. I have to get going.
Yeah.
But
One more
I'll go ahead
chart.
and close it off. I don't know if you guys want to. Well, let's just close it
Bren,
off here.
Bren,
What's up?
one more chart.
What's up?
Loose.
Yeah, go to loose real quick.
Might be
What is it? LU?
LUCE.
Yeah, it's a little Vatican thing.
The fuck just happened to my phone?
What is this?
Yeah, that looks very corrective. So yeah, if you just go to log, it's easier to see. But yeah, no, very corrective. I think it's probably seen its bottom now. If it does see another low, I'd probably add to it. I don't have any
This is
loose.
what mostly these charts look like, anyways.
I mean, what was that?
Anyway, I do have to go, but loose does look corrective on the chart there. I think it's probably bottomed out here with 3 or 4 days of consolidation. So I think it's probably going to run it back. Still looks pretty relevant. So I mean, I would hold that if you're still in it. But with that, guys, let's go ahead and shut it down. I do have to get going. Like I said, we do these calls twice a week, Tuesday, Friday.
Thank you,
We'll be back on Friday at 10 a.m. Definitely go ahead and follow everybody tagged in the comment here. Follow Boss Man Calls channel and check out what these guys are doing at B3L and then and Yoni's Twitter as well. But yeah, we'll be back here on Friday, 10 a.m. PST. Hope everybody has a great rest of your day and have a good Thanksgiving. See you
Thanks,
soon.
Wes.